That's a ram, and that's a truck. The dirty ass truck. Welcome back, RTT. I don't know if you can hear that song playing in the background, but you older fellas and ladies out there might know the song, I'm Your Vehicle, baby. Well, if y'all watch that music video, there's a guy in there playing a saxophone on that music video. That's my father-in-law. Just figured I'd share that little tip. Yeehaw. Welcome back, RTT. How's everybody doing today? Johnny Mac here. Going to do a gas and diesel comparison. What I like best and why I chose this truck. This is the second time I shot this video, and I just keep bumping into things that are unexpected, and I'm not happy with them. So I've shot a lot more video for you guys. I just keep not being happy with them. So I don't know. Maybe I need to just be less picky and just pump them out for you. You tell me. So I had a comment down in there about a week back or so wanting to know what I prefer better or what I think is better, gas or diesel. So we're going to talk about that today. And don't hit the like button right now. Don't hit the subscribe button right now. I'll tell you when to do that. We care about the algorithm around here. And so far as we've been pushing this algorithm a little bit, we're up to 108 subscribers. So thank you very much for everybody that's given me a moment and decided to allow me to be a little bit of entertainment or a little bit of information for them. I sure do appreciate it. And going to do what I can to try to make y'all interested. All right, so if you're going to get a diesel, here's what you're going to get. Don't quote me on this. I figure I'd give some of you keyboard warriors something to do. I'm sure you'll reach out and tell me how wrong I am. But just running off of memory here, if you're going to get a diesel, you're going to get somewhere around 460 horsepower, 660 or 680 foot-pounds of torque. I'm not sure the numbers on the higher output diesel, but you're going to get a 6-speed transmission. And if you're going to be hauling, you're probably going to be in the 410 gear. Now, I have not driven one of these trucks. I've had Dodge Ram diesels a long time ago, and they're a whole different animal now. But I'm surrounded by them, and I have been surrounded by them for a long time. And here's the general consensus on your Ram truck diesel. You're looking at about, when you're empty, you're looking at about 20 miles at a gallon. And that's without modding anything. That's without tuning anything or whatever it is people are doing when they're messing with their trucks. That's just a factory base setup with the 6-speed transmission. When you're towing, okay, somewhere between 8 to 10 miles per gallon. Now, if you got the gas, like I do, with the 6.4, you're somewhere around 410 horsepower and somewhere around 600 foot-pounds of torque. And let me stop you, keyboard warrior, because I just remembered something. The diesel is somewhere around 800 foot-pounds of torque. Mine, the gas 6.4, is like 410 horsepower, like 660, 640 foot-pounds of torque. With the 410, so that you can max out the weight on this truck, I'm still getting about 20 miles to the gallon empty. And some days with a little bit of wind at my back, I'm 22, 24. And if I'm drafting a truck a little bit, now I'm 24, 26. So, not bad, not bad. Towing, I have not maxed out this truck yet. I really don't want to. It's hard on your equipment. But I have been upwards of 11.5, 12,000 pounds. And towing, I'm getting about 8 to 10. Now, if I got a little bit of a headwind, I'm coming in right around 7 to 9, 7 to 8. Okay. If I'm drafting a little bit, and I'm not talking 20, 30 feet off of a semi, I'm talking 100, 120, 140 feet off of a semi. I don't recommend drafting much closer than that because you just don't have much reaction time, and if a DOT officer or trooper sees you, you're tailgating, and it's just not safe. So I'm not recommending that, and I'm only recommending you try to find that sweet spot around 120, 130, 140 feet behind the truck. If you're a very attentive driver, okay, if you can't stay off of your cell phone, don't do that, because if something starts going on up in front of you, you got about a second and a half to react. I got the 8-speed transmission in my truck. And if you are going to be buying a diesel next year, you're going to get the 8-speed too. Ram is dropping the 6-speed for the diesels, and I think that's a good thing. Okay? Everything that I'm hearing out there from everybody is the 6-speed is leaving you a little more to be desired in the transmission area, and this might be some of why. In my 8-speed, when I'm cruising and I need to grab an extra gear and get it to downshift so I can pull a hill or something, I'm only kicking up about 400 to 500 RPM. When you're in that 6-speed and you grab a gear and you make it downshift and you climb a hill or something, you're increasing about 600 to 700 RPM from what I'm told. Okay. I just feel like I have a lot more control when I want the power from the truck. If I downshift and I kick up about 400 or 500 RPM, I can still downshift again, kick up another 400 or 500 RPM, and I'm not really screaming up these hills. You know, you downshift twice in your Ram and in your diesel, and now you're screaming. Okay, that truck's working hard. You're down 2 gears, which means you're down in 3rd and 4th gear, and good working gears, you know. But it's really, in my opinion, it's going to be beating up your motor. I'm pretty happy with the gasser. Had a comment yesterday. Somebody wanted to know if I'm screaming up the hills if my RPMs are pegged out. Well, here's what I'm finding. At 2,800 RPM, I can climb just about any hill with 10,000 pounds plus on the truck. All right. I did go out to Arizona on a trip, and there was quite a bit of elevation to climb out there. And most of the hills I could do at 2,800 RPM. Okay. If I needed to downshift and grab a lower gear to get up the hill because I was losing steam, I'm finding that there isn't a hill out there that 3,200 RPM won't climb up and hold speed. Okay. Now, I downshift one more time and come up to about 3,700 RPM. I am accelerating up just about any hill. I am not getting beat up like the trucks, like the big trucks. Okay, I'm not losing speed in these hills. This thing has plenty of power. Okay, now if you're going to get into this and you're going to want to max out, or you're going to want to do multi-haul, okay, and you want to really put some weight on your truck, I think you can special order a 1-ton with the gasser, but they don't just come off of the line that way. Okay. It will be a special order ticket. You are going to wind up paying more. But I think in the 1-ton, you can do that. I can't tell you what it's going to be like to have 15 or 16 on the truck. I'm not going to do that to this truck. Okay. So I can't tell you what it's going to be like pulling with a gasser up the hill. The whole reason we went with this truck, okay, hang on here, we got a dummy who doesn't know how to pull out. They're driving a little tiny freaking Kia, and they think they're driving a semi. They're making wide turns coming out, and there ain't no reason to do that, you dummy. Anyways, The whole reason we went with degasser, okay? One, if I don't like the truck and I needed to get bigger or it wasn't going to hold up to the work, I do need a new farm truck. Okay, we're going to be replacing a truck here at home soon in the next year or so, completely getting away from Chevy. Okay, been a diehard Chevy fan, and if you want to hear me complain about Chevy, or you want to know what I didn't like about my Chevys that's caused me to walk away from them, hit the comment button down below and ask me to tell me why I don't like my Chevys. Okay, but walking away from Chevy, decided to try the Ram truck. There's a whole lot more Ram trucks out there working than just about anything else. Everybody says Ford's number one and they're everywhere. Well, yeah, okay, I see a lot of Fords and I see a fair amount of Chevys out there working, but everywhere I look, most of the working trucks are the Ram truck. Okay, so that's why we decided to try that. And I was gonna, switching jobs and trying out a new industry here. I did not want to invest $70,000-$80,000 in a truck to find out I don't really want an RV transport. So far, I think it's not terrible. Okay, I have more time on my hands and more control of my time than when I was escorting. So, to each their own. But I wanted to, for the channel and for the test on the Ram truck, I wanted to start out at your basic lowest truck that you can possibly get for RV transport. Okay, and that is the 2500. Okay, nobody's going to work you with a half ton, and you just, most of these trailers these days, 6-8 years ago, the big thing was, oh, it's half ton towable. I got quite a few RVs. I've had quite a few over the years. And for a very long time, that was the big thing. Is it half ton towable? To me, it seems like they're getting away from that now. These trailers are way heavier than 6-7 years ago or 5 to 7 years ago when I bought my last two rigs. I have a 32-foot travel trailer and a 34-foot travel trailer. The 32 is like 7,000 pounds. The 34 is like 8,400. And those were considered heavy models in those years that I bought them, 18 and 20, So it seems to me that now that the trucks are more capable, the RV industry is kind of walking away from having a cheaper trailer out there that is going to be half ton towable and just about anybody can pull it. I'm taking 24 and 25 foot trailers that are 7,000, 7,400, 27 foot trailers that I just took a 27 foot down to Texas, and that damn thing was 11,000 pounds, like 11,300, I think. That's heavy. Hopefully that means they're increasing the quality, but so base model truck, no leaf springs on these 2500s, which I do not understand. Whatever. We'll see how that rear suspension holds up. I don't know. Right now we're at 16,380. So truck's still really new, has barely been working. It's only got about 10,000 miles of work on it. So, base model truck, no CDL, smallest possible truck, weight, capacity for the industry, so that we can see at the entry level, does it work? Is there enough money in this when you can really only do 80% of the travel trailers with this truck, and with the weights, 30% of the fifth wheels with this truck, almost every fifth wheel I see over 30 foot is 14, 15,000 pounds. You know, every once in a while, I'll see a 30, 32 footer that's 11 and 12. And that's about as big of a fifth wheel as I'm going to want to put on this truck. You know, we might wind up with some airbags here soon, but that would, you know, that's still, I'm still not going to want to take the truck close to its max with some airbags to help out, you know, keeping the truck level. It just, I don't know, man. It just seems like a lot for the truck. And the last thing I want to do is skew the test by beating the truck up. Okay. Now, some of you people are going to say, yeah, but it's that Hemi, you know, and they got valve train problems, you know. Well, I've done a little bit of homework on there, and it really only looks like the valve train issue is a problem for 5 to 7% of the trucks that they're putting out. So, and in my opinion, that's not a that's not a huge number. You know, I'm sure if you go through that 5 to 7% that's having valve train problems out of their Hemi, and you check their maintenance and you check how they drive it, you know, if they're racing it around all the time, well, I'm sure you're going to find a large percentage of them 5%, 7% valve train issues. They don't maintain very well. They don't. They are racing their trucks around, you know, and beating them up. And to me, that's not an honest test. Okay. I am very nice to the truck. I want to get through the 100,000 mile test without any major issues, you know. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're not doing 72 miles an hour when you got 11, 12,000 pounds on the truck. You know, the tires on the travel trailers are only rated at 65 miles per hour. Okay, the company that I'm working for is mandating that I do 65 miles an hour. I can get in some trouble if I'm not, you know, and half the time I'm not even doing 65 miles an hour. The truck seems to do really well at 62. That seems to be about the sweet spot, you know. Yeah, I might be a little slower on the highway than the rest, but on a good day at 62 miles an hour with 8, 9, 10,000 pounds on the truck, I'm looking down and my real-time fuel economy is 11, 12, you know. And when you got a headwind and you're climbing hills and you're getting 8 to 10, well, 12's a big deal, you know. My time really doesn't matter out here. What's important is when I look down, am I sucking that fuel? And if you want to drink a lot of gas, this truck will oblige. Okay, half the time I think it takes the return line. If you're really working this thing, it'll take the return line, and now you got, and it'll turn it around. It'll suck up in through that return line. Now you got 2 intake lines, as far as I'm concerned. It is just amazing how much gas this thing can suck. Okay, so you know, with today's gas prices, every 2 mile per gallon that you can increase in your fuel economy, you're going to earn that much more out of that tank of gas. It's going to pay for the gas. Okay, so your fuel economy should be your number one concern out here, because ultimately you don't want to give all your money away to the gas stations. Ultimately, you're trying to get money home. So, you know, take your time, let off a little bit, and I promise you, you will get a couple $100 more a week home. Empty, I'm still doing 63, 64. If I got a little bit of a tailwind, and that's all dictated by the environmental conditions, the road conditions, hills, traffic conditions, and what my fuel economy is getting. Every once in a while, I got a little bit of a tailwind. Every once in a while, there's a prime truck doing just right about the right speed that I can get behind and get a little bit of a break when I'm empty. And now I get to make a little more time today. Awesome, cool. Dinner's going to be earlier. You're going to be able to shut down earlier, or you're just going to get more miles. But your fuel economy out here is your number one burden for trying to get gas, trying to get money home. And I'm not doing this to give it all to the truck stops, okay? So think about that a little bit and, let off a little bit. Plus, it's a little safer, I'm getting passed by RV haulers doing 72, 74, 75 miles an hour, and their trailers doing this behind them, and hey, good for you. You got 4 extra loads done this month, or, 8 extra loads throughout, your first quarter of the year. Okay, fine. But I guarantee you, I got more money to the house than you did. Okay, because I don't care what you're driving out here, 72, 75 miles an hour, that truck is only going to be getting 6, 7 miles to the gallon. And when you do that all day long, you're looking at $200 a day, $1,000 a week. Okay. Well, if you're going to work all year, think about that for a minute. $40,000 to $50,000 a year in a fuel expense. I'm sorry, you're doing it wrong. Okay, slow down a little bit. You won't have to do an extra 20 loads in a year to get 80, 90 grand to the house. So me personally, I'm pretty happy. If I decide I want to do this longer at the end of the year, we will talk about whether or not I got to get the CDL. We will talk about whether or not I got to step up. I'm going to do a 30-day review, or the first month review of the work I did and how much money I got home. And that should be in the next day or so. Pay attention to that video. If your main thing is, the main reason you're watching this channel is you want to find out if RV transport is worth your time, that's going to be the video for you. Okay? Me personally, I feel like I got kind of beat up in my first month. I can clearly see where somebody was blowing smoke up my rear about how awesome RV transport is and how much money they're making. And I've been told a couple of lies. Everybody wants to brag and say they're doing the coolest thing and it's the best thing, and they don't want to tell you if they screwed up. It's their ego. I don't care about the ego. That don't bother me. That's the video for you if you want to know what the first 30 days was like in RV transport. So here's another little tip that I'm doing with my gasser, okay, to get a little bit better fuel mileage. When you kick down and you're climbing a hill and you're 2,800 RPM because you're climbing a big, long hill, you're going to look down and you're going to see 6 miles per gallon, okay? I've already trained myself. It's almost a habit here just in the first month that when I notice I've downshifted, first thing I do is I look down and I check. What's my mile per gallon in the real time column? Okay. So I'll kick down, boom, 6 miles per gallon. I'm training myself. You can keep that downshifted gear and still let off just a little bit. Let off the gas just a little bit. Now you're getting 7. With 7 miles per gallon, I think I might as well just get up the hill. Okay, think about it. Let's do some math here for a second. At 6 miles per gallon, when you add one more, that's like 16, 17% increase in your fuel economy. Okay? Now, if 20% of your day is climbing hills, 30% of your day is climbing hills, think about that. Okay? Do I want 17% better fuel mileage for 30% of my day? Absolutely. Absolutely. So when it downshifts a little bit, train yourself to look down, see where you're at, let off till you see that number bump up one. Boom. You're saving money. That's more money to the house. That's longer you're going to be able to run before you got to stop and put gas in the truck. Sometimes, okay, when I downshift, climbing that hill, and I go to let off, it will go to 7, and I can let off just a little bit more, and it'll go to 8. So now you're climbing that hill with, a 34% better fuel economy. I don't know about you, but 34% is a big number. 17% is a big number, okay? So it's not about how fast you get there. It's about how much money you made when you got there, and it's about how safely you did it, okay? So just a little tip there. That's how I'm kind of increasing. I let off all day long. I let off the gas pedal more often than I push down harder on it. Okay, so there's some of my thoughts on tips that you can do for some better fuel economy. But everybody wants to look at me and go, "Oh, you got the gasser. Why'd you do the gasser? I got the diesel. I can pull anything." Okay, number one, in the half-ton, two-wheel drive, if you're looking at the diesel, the gasser's got a higher towing capacity. The engine doesn't weigh as much. My gross vehicle weight is lower. I think it's 800 pounds, okay? I'd rather have that much more cushion on being on a maxed out load than having that diesel. Here's the biggest problem with the diesels, and the number one reason why I'm not touching it yet, okay? If I want to stay in this industry and I tell myself I need to get bigger, I'm probably going to wind up in a diesel, okay? That's just the reality of the situation. So, but here's the number one problem: the diesel exhaust fluid, the DEF systems. They're terrible, okay? Now you just paid $15,000 to $20,000 more for your truck, and you got a system in there that has a couple hundred parts, okay? And it's a fairly new thing, all right? I think they've only been doing it about 10 years. They don't have it ironed out yet. Dodge, in my opinion, Ram is doing the best with their diesel DEF systems. They're having the least amount of problems, but it's a terrible system, okay? They are not reliable, whether you're in a big truck or you're in a light truck, all right? In the last 12 years, 14 years that I've been around these trucks, it is the number one problem for everyone, okay? And most of the dealerships out there, you'll take it in, I got a DEF problem, I'm throwing codes, it's limiting my speed, it's won't stop regenning. And so when it's regenning, you're running at 2,400 RPM. It's raising the temperature of everything under the hood so it can cook out all the particulate that's in your filter. Man, that's hard on your equipment, okay? And even if you're idling, it's just sitting over there, revving out to clear out the DEF system. So now you take it in, you got a problem, all right? I don't know about you, but I have lost all faith in dealerships and mechanics and shops, okay? They are just part swappers. Most of them, can swap the part, but they can't really diagnose. They can't look up in there and go, oh, okay, it says that this is the code, but from my experience, that code is usually caused by this other problem. So now you spend all this money. If you're not on a warranty, you spend all this money at the shop, and these DEF repairs are expensive, thousands of dollars, and you get all that work done. You get 200 miles down the road after they cleared the computer, and you throw in another code. Now you got to go back to the shop. Now you got to spend more money. Now you got to argue over what's warranted and what's not warranted. You're not making any money because you're in the shop. Okay, I know people who have gone into shops and got a DEF problem. Oh, here's $3,000 for this DEF problem. Go out, start working again. They can't afford to take it in to the shop 3 days later because they got to earn a paycheck this week. Okay, so now it throws a code, and now they say, well, they're going to have to deal with the code all week long because I got to earn my paycheck. Then they take it back into the shop. Oh, well, you threw this code and you should have brought it back to us right away. And we really don't want to warranty what that other shop did. So now we got to replace again what you just did, plus this other $2,000 part. That's why I couldn't do it. Okay. That's why I couldn't go to the diesel right off the bat. All right. These DEF problems are a plague on the industry. I really, it's made me terrified to get a diesel. Okay. I want to work. I don't want to be out here breaking down on a regular basis. Okay, great. You got a brand new truck. You got a 100,000 mile warranty, or you got the 5-year unlimited mile warranty, the big warranty, awesome. Good for you. But if you're going to spend 10 weeks off the road every year, having all that warranty work done, okay, it didn't cost you no money to the dealer, but it cost you money on your paycheck. It costs you money on your income. Okay, so it is costing you money, and trust me, it's not going to be convenient when you pull into the shop or you start throwing a code. It's never going to be when you've just worked for 3 weeks and you got plenty of money to go home and let your home dealership, fix your problem. Okay, it's always going to be very inconvenient. It's always going to be, damn it, my truck is broke again, and I only earned one paycheck this month because parts were back ordered because everybody's got DEF problems and they can't get you a new filter or they can't get you a new sensor. And, you just spent 2 weeks off while you didn't even have your truck. It's sitting at the dealership. Nightmares, man. Nightmares, okay? I just couldn't bring myself to do that first time out. Now, in comparison to with all these diesels, with the Duramax, with the Ford, with the Cummins, okay, I went out to Hershey. They had a big RV show going on. I shot some video out there. I wasn't happy with the quality. Maybe I'm just being too picky. Maybe y'all don't care. If you're not going to really care about the sound, if you're not really going to care about some of the idiosyncrasies that, I don't know, are making me picky and making me not want to put the video up, well, comment down below and just say drop the videos. Okay? If 5 of you say drop the videos, then I'll just drop the videos. Okay? I'll stop caring about the image. Okay? I'll stop caring about the sound quality. I don't know. Just trying to give you guys something better to look at, But anyways, I went out to Hershey and decided to take a unit out there for a show, and I had to wait in a big long car wash line or an RV wash line so they could wash the rig before you park it and got to drop it. And I was surrounded by a bunch of other trucks. Now, most of the trucks were Ram trucks, okay? Maybe 25% of them were Fords, and maybe 15% of them were Chevys. All the Ram truck guys are sitting there with their trucks off. Okay? The Ford guys are sitting there with their trucks off. The Chevy guys are all sitting there regenning in line because it's not the best thing to do to shut the truck off when it's regenning. So they're sitting in line burning 2, 3, 4 gallons an hour regenning at 2,000 RPM because the damn Duramax sucks. Okay? In my opinion, out of all of them, I think it's the worst. Okay? And I went over and I chatted with a guy with a Duramax. And I go, I hear you regen it. You know, and the truck's just sitting there screaming, burning fuel, costing him freaking, $4 every 10 minutes. Man, he said, I regen twice a day. And there ain't nothing I can do about it. I didn't go talk to any of the Ford guys. They're Ford guys. I mean, they're not bright, okay? So I really probably wasn't going to get any decent information out of them. So, you're not going to catch me in a Duramax out here. That's for sure. That's for sure. But here's the one thing most people don't understand with these DEF systems. These trucks are not made to idle. Okay? If you're going to sleep in your diesel, you need to have an alternate power source, a generator, and an air conditioner in your truck so that you can shut your truck off. All right? When I go into the yard and I'm loading up and they're all sitting there with their diesels running while they're loading up, that is the worst thing you can do for your diesel. Okay? In the morning, when it's cold, you're going to start that truck and you're not going to let it sit there and idle for 15 minutes. Okay? Personally, I'm going to let it idle just enough to see the temperature gauge move on the truck, and then I'm going to start rolling. I'm going to be a little nicer while everything's cold. Okay? I'm going to be a little nicer till the truck is up to temperature. You know, maybe I'm only going to go 55 until the truck is really warmed up. But one of the worst things you can do for your diesel is idle. Okay? When you're hooking up, shut the damn truck off. Okay? They do not like it. It is the number one cause for all of these DEF issues, in my opinion. All right? Whether you're in a big truck or you're in a little truck, the idling is the worst thing you can do for that diesel. Okay? That truck is meant to be at operating temperature, going down the road, moving air through the system, okay, through the motor, and pushing that exhaust out the tailpipe with some pressure. Okay? It's going to want air moving through the engine compartment for cooling. You do not want to sit there and be cooking all your rubber hoses, all your wiring harnesses, because you're idling the truck in 98 degrees and you're not moving. You are causing so much more stress underneath the hood of your vehicle than you need to do. And it is going to cause you problems. And once your warranty expires, it is going to cost you money. Okay? These trucks are not meant to idle. They're not race trucks either. Okay? If you're going to be constantly hammering down on your gas pedal and putting it to the floor because it's so fast and it's so fun to listen to it roar and you love the sound of that turbo, well, dummy, that's on you. Okay? These aren't race trucks. These aren't power plants. They're meant to be working, and they're meant to be worked properly. Okay? So do yourself a favor and shut the truck off. Think about how you're treating that motor. All right? I want everyone that's doing this to get some money home. And, once you're outside your warranty, you got one bad month, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 worth of freaking repairs. It might cost you your career. It might cost you your job. You're going to find yourself back at the MFA loading feed bags. Okay? So, I don't beat the truck. I'm going to be really nice to the truck. For me, it's only fair to the truck, okay, for this review. So, yeah, I play with it every once in a while. Yesterday, I had a Camaro pull up next to me or pull up in front of me. We took a turn. My plan was to go around him because he'd been driving slow anyways. And so we made the turn. I got over into the left lane, and he got over in the left lane and got my way. He irritated me a little bit, so I jumped back in the right lane, and I gave it some fuel. He saw me doing what I was doing, and I heard him kick it off. Well, I walked away from him. Okay, this 6'4" is unbelievable. Okay, it is one of the fastest, most powerful vehicles I've ever driven. Okay, it is shocking how fast this thing can go. All right, yeah. If it's not your work truck, if it's your toy truck, you're gonna have a blast. Great, you're gonna repair it, but this truck is impressive. Okay, it goes and it likes to go and it sounds freaking awesome. So, but I don't do that very often. All right, I just had a feeling he was in a little V6 Camaro, and when he got in my way, I just wanted to show him that what the Ram truck's all about. So right now is the part where you're supposed to hit that subscribe button. You're supposed to hit that like button. Get some homework. This is when YouTube says, hey, they're paying attention. All right. So do me a favor, reach down in there, hit that button, hit that subscribe button. And it's going to have the most impact on the channel. 108 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. Sure do appreciate that. Hopefully I can deliver. Hopefully you follow me for the whole journey of this year and really can see what the Ram truck is all about. I got a video a couple weeks back where we had a sponsor for Hannah Duck Goose on the YouTube. And she said if I could get a certain level of performance on in the sponsored video, she was going to send out Fred and Ethel, the geese, and send them out to my place and figure out how to shoot a video that involves geese and Ram trucks. I did not expect to find myself worrying about waterfowl on this channel or how to shoot a decent video that might interest you with some waterfowl. But she picked up a few subscribers. A couple of you listened and went over to her channel and gave her a subscribe. And I picked up a few subscribers and we hit the like bar there that we were trying to hit. So thank you. It's my most popular video, probably because of WaySafe. And we're going to do an update on the WaySafe here real soon. I've used it a few times. I've gotten more familiar with it. So I feel like I can spit off an unscripted video and be informative. So that'll be coming up here real soon. Pay attention for later on today. We're going to do a new segment called Truck Stop Chronicles. Okay, where I'm going to tell you about the wildest things I've seen at the truck stop in the last week or two or whatever. So we're going to drop that first Truck Stop Chronicle today, later on today, and hopefully you enjoy it. So I appreciate you tuning in. Got some microphone equipment now, so the sound quality should be better. Let me know if you think the sound quality is a little better, a little more even. You don't have to turn the volume up and down. Hopefully it is. Wow, come on there, Chevy. Get over in your lane. That's a double yellow line. It doesn't mean ride on it. That means stay on the other side of it. Damn Chevy drivers. Think their trucks are cool. But anyways, so got the sound quality fixed. I ordered a couple of tripods and some mounts, and one of them wound up being on back order. Another one showed up broken. So still trying to get all the equipment together, but the microphone was the big thing. So we're going to start dropping more videos, and probably I'm going to start trying to do like every other day for you. I am going to Montana. I'm going to head out for Montana on Monday. Got a big run coming up. Got a couple of things going on during that week. So if you're still tuning in and listening to me by now, thank you, and I appreciate that. But here's what we're going to do from now on. I'm going to grab a trailer. I'm going to tell you where I'm going. I'm going to tell you roughly my route, how I'm getting there. All right. Once I unload the trailer, we are going to check into that video that I sent you telling you where I was going and how I'm going to get there. And if on my way back to the yard to grab another trailer, if you're familiar with the area that I have been in or am going to be in, and you want to see something, whether it's Mount Rushmore, whether it's, you know, the half-buried Cadillacs down in Amarillo, or whether it's some little museum that you've driven past a half a dozen times and you never got a chance to get in there and check it out. You know, the world's biggest ball of yarn or something. You know, y'all drop it there in the comments, and on my way back, as long as it's not too far out of the way, I will swing in there and I'll shoot that video for you. I want to see what you want me to see, and I want you to see what I think about what you want me to see. So, all right, thanks for tuning in. Drop that Truck Stop Chronicle later today. Hopefully you find it as amusing as I found it when I saw it. And hopefully I can tell you the story good enough to make you chuckle. But Monday, Montana. We're headed to Montana on Monday. So get ready for that. And I've got my videos, the types of videos, I've got them almost all figured out. So we're going to be dropping more regular videos. Stay tuned. I'm Johnny Mack, reminding you, it may be 2024, but there's still only two genders. Have a great day. Stay safe, Ram Truck Truckers.